All right, great. Thank you, Steve. I mean, Joe, you should just give a
You want me to intro myself?
give a little bit of. I don't want to botch it. You know what I mean? But give us just like a little nutshell of, because you've referenced it a handful of times.
Quick Wikipedia
yeah,
page.
just like of some of the accolades where you've been and.
Oh, I get to throw
toot your own
humility
horn.
aside. I'm gonna toot the shit out of this.
Toot it.
My name is Joseph Fauria, aka Big Joe, at Big Joe.
Big Joe.
On all social platforms, and it's just in life,
Mm-hmm.
but not self-proclaimed like King James. Big Joe was just what the fuck I was. But then I played 3 sports in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Excelled at all of them because I was great at sports and I was fucking tall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 6'8", 240 now. I used to be 280, 260. Yeah,
Lean and mean right
Hello, how you doing? Yeah, played 3 sports in high school. Went to Notre Dame University.
Mm-hmm.
Slapped a priest on the ass and got suspended. And
Legend.
got suspended. So after that, I went. I was like, okay, I'll try to get back. I'll try to get back in. And then I got a job at Hot's Tacos on Devonshire and Reseda in Northridge. I was a busboy and a waiter. And after that, while I was doing that, I went to Pierce College for 2 weeks. Did political science for a little bit, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? I don't want to be here." There's this girl I hooked up with in 8th grade, Tanya, not cute anymore. But anyways, I did that for a little bit, and then I was like, I'm not gonna go back. Transferred to UCLA, sat out 1 year, battled a little bit of injuries, got a couple touchdowns. My redshirt sophomore year, redshirt junior year, got a few more touchdowns. Senior year, balled out. Brett Hundley was our quarterback. Jonathan Flankerman was our running back. We were dope. 12 touchdowns that year. No big deal.
What was life? What was life like?
Life was dope. I was awesome.
What were you doing? What were you doing?
I took advantage of. We tried to make UCLA a football school.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't, and we were struggling, and that was our first year of success. Like, we finally beat SC and shit. There was couches burning in the middle of Westwood. It was awesome, and we never had that our entire career there. So that was legendary. I was a tall UCLA football player in Westwood, surrounded by Beverly Hills, Santa Monica, the Hollywood Hills. Like, I took advantage of it a little bit.
I can't imagine going to school out here. Actually,
it's funny you say that though, because I tell other people I would have much rather have gone to a southern like SEC school and been like worshipped. And that's why I wanted to go to Notre Dame. Granted, it wasn't in the best city, but you were worshipped. I signed titties and babies, like in babies' foreheads, like in titties and babies' foreheads.
At Notre Dame.
At Notre Dame, swear to God. Before I even got there, like they were having me signing shit when I was in high school. That's how much I love you, but not that city, but like a freaking Georgia. Like something where they just like freaking worship you, like Stafford kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like that's what I love. But UCLA, when we were good, it's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like I've shared stories, yeah, good stuff.
So slapped a few priests' ass.
Oh yeah, and
signed
then
a few babies. And then what happened?
I didn't slap any babies. I slapped titties. I didn't slap babies. No, I was after UCLA, and then balled out, and then didn't get drafted because I think my personality kind of got out there.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really welcomed. I was also tall, and I couldn't really get that low, and my blocking was a downgrade. But I worked on it, and I was pretty good at it, if I say so myself. But I went out drafted, and then after the draft, I picked the Lions to go there because I thought I could succeed there because my agent was actually the offensive coordinator's agent. So I went there and scored a touchdown in my first game, made the team, obviously. Scored a touchdown in the first game. Got 3 touchdowns in one game against the Browns. Yeah, stuck on it. And so I got what? And then so 7 touchdowns my rookie year. Second year, I just came out with this on my podcast last week. Second year, I battled an injury. Was it second year? No, yeah, sorry. Second year was when I fucking like an idiot played volleyball in the middle of the season. Fucking busted my ankle. I told the whole world that I tripped over Rufio. So I just told it on my podcast for the first time in public, and now even more fucking people are gonna know because the more people listen to your shit. So that's great. I just told everybody.
The truth sets you free.
Dude, it is. It's so freeing. That's why I feel like. So like, yeah, you know what I'm saying. But Yeah. So I fucking busted my ankle and I battled that and never came back. I was never the same. And like the thing with being undrafted is that like Edelman, Tony Romo, Victor Cruz, guys that are undrafted, you have to stick with your team that you pick after. Like the team that you start with being undrafted, you usually stick with. Right. And I fucked that up. So they let me go. I bounced around. I tried to go to I tried playing. I went to Arizona Cardinals. Played there. Then they bumped me to practice squad. Then my knee popped. Had to get meniscus surgery. That was my. What was that? This is my third year. My bad. Second year was just whatever. Right. Something like that. I don't know right now. But anyways, that was my career. I played in the Patriots for 3 weeks. That was dope. And then after that, this is actually one of my biggest regrets to this day. I after the Pats cut me because like Bill Belichick verbatim said, "Don't come back too soon," because they were talking to me after I had my surgery, after my meniscus popped in Arizona, and Belichick called me, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is Belichick." And I had met him before.
What's his phone swag like? Very long pauses?
No, it's not as dramatic as you think.
I could hear like 30-second long pauses.
No, it's more to the point, very direct. By the way, dude really commands an interview posting for meetings and throws a few F-bombs here and there. And they really make you listen to those F-bombs. Like I never really respected F-bombs. Usually like, when you're saying a speech, you might lose a little bit. Right. But he gains it because F-bombs are great. But on the phone call, he didn't throw any F-bombs. He was like, "Be back, come soon. How you feeling?" He like verbatim said, "Don't come back too soon. Like just make sure you wait it out. We'll wait for you." Right. Of course, the meniscus 8 to 12 weeks. I'll come back in 9. Well, you're not supposed to come back that soon. Came back in 9 weeks, and I tried to hobble a little bit, but they just didn't. They knew. So 3 weeks later, they cut me. I go to the Rams, and they offered me practice squad. It's like $100,000, $120,000, something like that. And my ego was so big, and my knee was so shitty that I was like, I mean, I could fake it because this is week fucking 14, and this is the St. Louis Rams. And if I would have just hobbled through for 2 more weeks, I could probably be balling on the Rams right now with Goff. Or it's Goff, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Goff, me, Goff and Fauria, Goff and Big Joe. It'd be so lit.
He was supposed to be on the podcast. We didn't get him. He was supposed to be here a few weeks ago.
Tell him what could have been.
I know.
What could have been. We'll meet one day. But yeah, and I said, talked to my agent. I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to do this. I'll try next year.
When you made that decision, what was your mind frame that you'll be able to when next year comes around?
My mind frame was that even though I came off in 2 years of being injured, right, I would still get another chance, right, from like anyone else. But like I said about earlier, the undrafted guys, you should stick with your team. But once you bounce around like that and you're undrafted, like there's a reason why. I mean, for the most part, those 31 other teams didn't pick you, or they didn't sign you. Think about that. But my ego was like, motherfucker, I scored 7 touchdowns in a season. But I forgot that was like 2 years prior. Right. So I've been battling these injuries, but my ego was so big. I was like, I'm not playing for this practice squad bullshit. Right. Fuck off. So after that, it was, me trying to get back in a whole year. Agent said it was going to happen. Spring ball went by. Nothing. Fall went by. Whole season. Nothing. And I'm just like, fuck. So then moved to New York. I thought I'd give it one more shot. I hit 280. Lost a little bit of weight, got in shape, got in football shape, got one more tryout with the Giants. They just said they were nice about it. It was a tryout that I brokered. I made my connections that I had. I actually became friends with the owner of the Giants in New York because I like making friends with everybody. So
you're good at
yeah. So I got that, and then I didn't bear fruit because it was a favor. Right. But I thought I could get one more smell of the grass, see some homies for a second. Saw some homies in the locker room. That was cool. Run one more 40 with my shirt off and call it a day. Ben McAdoo gave me a little head nod, and that was it.
Right off into the sunset.
Yep.
Right to Arizona.
And yeah.
So then when you get to Arizona, this is where you basically...
It was Arizona, and then I had moved to New York at this point.
Okay.
So when I moved to New York, That was after I said no to the Rams.
Right.
Then moved to New York and then had that tryout this past fall.
Mm-hmm.
And then now I've been doing recently. Been doing the podcast, but I mean, shit. To me, I'm like mad at myself talking about it because that was 3 years it took me to start a podcast or to really be okay. Because 2015 was my last real game.
Right.
And it's 2018, and I'm finally getting better. Like
Right.
I'm finally happy. Like,
well, you have to be able to.
because you and I met when like I was still kind of playing a little bit.
I think so. Yeah.
And then like I lost touch with everybody because I didn't reach out.
Mm.
I didn't answer calls.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like let go of social media for a little bit, but I lost a lot of like friendships.
Mm.
I mean, I forget that you have to like actually nurture those.
You do.
They're important. I mean, they're more important than
Anything.
hetero relationships.
Yeah.
Why aren't we like implemented better to be like nurturing? Am I the only one that says that? we should be nurturing friendships more than fucking hetero relationships.
We nurture each other in this house.
You guys do a great job of that.
We try our best.
I mean, it's borderline, but it's still hetero, and I love it.
Yeah, no, it is. Man, me and Marcus talked about it, but
No, it's special. I mean, that's the one thing you come on, you get it. It's the one thing you fucking miss.
mm-hmm.
The most thing. It's not the millions of dollars. I never made $1 million, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of zeros. I don't miss those that as much as I miss the homies.
Right.
Sam Martin, my locker mate. Fucking just the fucking homies. I miss that.
Mm-hmm.
I miss fucking smacking my balls in front of everybody, and making my homies making the cornerbacks uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like I fucking missed that.
You were that guy in the
Oh
locker
yeah, I
room?
was that guy.
Mm-hmm. Of
Yeah.
course you were.
We had our old UCLA locker room setup was where like there was like room on top of your lockers, like if you had extra pads or something like that, just put them on top. I climbed up those one time, and like all the guys are like after practice chilling after. Oh sorry, Mike. Should I say that again? All my friends are on the levels where you're supposed to sit, down on the where you're supposed to sit at your locker.
Chairs.
Yeah. I'm on top of the locker, and I don't hang anything over the edge besides like my taint area. And all six look up, and they just see me, all of me. So I was that guy.
You were that guy.
But not every time, because like I only got it like towards the end of college, because I was like, yeah, I'm scoring touchdowns now I can do this shit.
Yeah, you can be.
But there was one guy in my locker room by the name of Steve Sloan.
Steve,
yeah, fucking Steve. Jesus, this is a Steve move too.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Steve. When I had just transferred to UCLA, and I was, I'm Joe, but like even new places get me a little bit.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, I'm transferring schools. But this guy Steve. Oh, actually, I should probably tell another story.
Tell us.
Before Steve was my freshman year in college. One of my first times in a shower with 20 other men.
Yep.
Patrick Kuntz, good guy. He's a good dude, but I didn't know this. But my first shower ever with all the guys, he's like Patrick Kuntz, and this guy has I'm gonna paint the picture for you. He's a defensive tackle, 300 pounds, white dude, crazy from Indianapolis, and he has a mullet.
Mm-hmm.
And all he does when he walks by, he's the first one in the showers, and he says, "I can't wait to see some freshman dick." And I just ghost face, and I waited till he was done.
I'm fucking not going in there.
I was so terrified. Mm-hmm. Fast forward to my first, because I had to do two new colleges. That sucked. That was kind of annoying.
I did too. I did
yeah,
that.
That's right.
Did that?
Yeah, transferring sucks, dude.
Weird.
It's really weird. But there's that learning period. But so my other first locker room experience at UCLA was this guy named Steve, which gave me the courage to be that open guy in the locker room and showing, just flapping everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was dude because I was in the locker room, like the locker aisle right before the showers at UCLA. The setup was like we got past and like dudes were probably naked, whatever.
Right.
I'm comfortable with myself. It's okay. He shows up. He's like, hands on his hip. He's like, "Where's my loofah? Where's my fucking loofah?" The fucking loofah string is hanging on the neck of his dick. So, and because
so he had a boner? Did he have a boner?
No, it was just I guess he had a big neck of his. Like a big lip on his dick neck. Sorry,
there you
Steve. Sorry, Steve. But,
just airing out Steve's dirty laundry.
Dirty Steve. I'm giving really graphic details to my buddy's pee-pee. Flaccid. I'm sure it's bigger.
Grower.
No. Yeah. So that was my locker room experience.
I mean, it's like you had said it leading into that, but I want to say that's why I've been able.
That's not the specific shit I miss, but I just miss the locker room.
Right. Yeah, I subconsciously created a locker room culture in what we're doing now.
Yeah.
You know, the element of just having guys that you see every day that you're with. With
a common goal.
With a common goal, working towards something. I think that was like, this guy sitting right here is one of them. Like, we started working, when was it? 2012. Because 2012, we did? Crazy. Yeah, so the beginning, a first collaborator, but I automatically kind of subconsciously just saw his value and was like, hey, kind of, I don't even know if we had a formal conversation about it, but it was just like,
y'all are cool though, right?
Come on board. Not really. I mean, no, I didn't. He was a complete stranger. He had reached out. He came. He was like, I think maybe was it to shoot a video first, right? Sent me beats. Really, then I went and shot a video with him, and he was like, makes beats, he records, and he shoots videos, and I'm like, in my head, let's start putting together a team so that we can kind of build together. I could use the resources of his skill sets, So it takes
a village.
Yeah, it takes a village, and I, being a smaller artist, an independent artist, it's been like hand picking 5 guys. These are the people I rely on to get me through the day and do even all the way up to the new guy Versace. Just people helping me, working as a team. Really, you know what I mean? Created a team environment. Yeah.
I don't think you probably didn't even know you were doing it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it happened just subconsciously, and you were like, oh shit. Now the homies are living with me, and now we got this good team thing going on, and that's elevated your success
1,000,000%.
Yeah, it's lessened your stress, and you guys work as a team.
Everyone
does their job.
There's no way I would be here. 0 chance.
That's real.
Without having, you just have to have that. I honestly think that's why I was able to transition. It felt seamless at the time. It just happened because I didn't find myself being sad or missing, what baseball had given to me, because I think I was able to take that, I had that team element, and I was still.
You also had something you loved.
Yeah, I loved it, but I was competing. Like I was now competing to try to figure out how to do it, and improve and make music and acquire fans.
Yeah.
And it was a challenge. It was a competition, even albeit with myself or whatever, So I was able to kind of feed the athlete beast in me, even though I'm not an athlete anymore, And I think that's why the transition happened the way it did. I was able to kind of bring as many pieces of that as I could, without going to the field, without being on a team, without playing, but bringing those elements with me on this journey. I don't think I'd even be, I don't know. I don't think I'd be in music. I really don't think I would still be in music if I wasn't able to kind of put the team together. And that's why I rock the way I rock, like not signing a record deal. We talked about this with Marcus a little bit, but it was all of these decisions. I just love what we've created in the sense of how we're kind of just doing it ourselves and doing it together. And
why fix it if it's not broken?
Yeah. It's not. It could definitely be bigger, and there'll be bigger opportunities. And I think in my heart of hearts, I think there's a middle ground that I can reach if I work towards it. I do enough on my own so that the record deals or the opportunities I'm getting are they're a lot more. There's no restrictions. There's a lot more leverage when, like, if I'm able to create.
So you never wanna do that. You never want to sign a record deal.
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like, there's some new opportunities coming up, and up to this point we've never done one, but I feel like all this work that we've done and making this next body of music myself and just doing it, I think, and building the fan base that we've built over this time, now, you know, I'm getting those better offers and those agreements. They feel more like partnerships with the record companies versus
rather than like having a boss
signing to them and having, because I'm just, part of me is just scared to, like, as much as things can be elevated, you know.
We were talking earlier about how you wanted, like, how you taught yourself like editing and boothing, however, what's the vernacular for making music?
Engineering yourself and recording yourself.
So you learned that, so you didn't have to. So you had your own creative touch on it, right? Bro, you told me that straight up. You told me that straight up, that you learned that so you could have your creative touch on it, so that everything had your creative touch. Because if you don't know that, you're letting other people touch it, and then it loses Mike's touch.
Right.
So it's the same thing.
And I think that's probably the number one risk of doing the record deal, is just like, you know, now
that's scary.
It's an entire company that now they're all those chefs are now in the kitchen.
Yeah,
you know, and we're making a fucking crock pot.
But now that you've actually created something big and huge, now they have to partner with you rather than being above you.
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Is just like, I'm open to doing a record deal if it's structured in a partnership format where, one, you know, the number one thing is just creative control. It's called, where they're not telling you what to make, you know, and they can't. Because there's horror stories you hear of kids signing record deals and getting shelved, not ever putting a record out. You know, imagine signing a record deal and thinking, you know, you're on your way, and it's a huge step for somebody who's been making music, you know, and then you never get to release music because they have the final say.
Because they already signed their lives away too soon.
Yeah, if you do, like, I mean,
I never know that part of the business.
It's called being shelved. Like, people just get shelved. Like, and it happens.
And that's really hard to fucking recover from.
Almost impossible in a lot of ways. Like, it's a timing thing. You got to wait to get out of it. Someone has to pay to get you out of it.
That's right, because you're contractual.
Because it's like, yo, 2 albums, you know. So then, how do you put out music?
And those are the 2 albums you put your heart and soul in, and then your first one,
right? And you could make an album you love, and they're just like, this isn't right, this isn't it, you know. And then,
but now, dude, you fucking leveraged.
Yeah,
you leveraged.
I'm in a good first place. Time where I feel like I'm in the right place to potentially do this partnership with somebody, and there's some really interesting things I can't necessarily say quite yet. Yeah. With a few people that I think they'll be my incredible opportunities. So I'm in a weird phase. Like, you caught me on a weird phase, because I'm close to finishing this album. I've been working. I have so much music that's getting ready to come out, and I was telling you off camera, just feeling a little stir crazy in the sense of, like, we used to just drop music, tour, you know, and that's what we did, and we were able to really build that way. But I took a step back, you know. I was able to get enough, you know, financial stability to where I was able to get a place like this, and I could reinvest in myself, you know. Like, that's how I look at this house, in the sense that, like, I barely leave, you know. Like, my office is here.
All you need is here.
Yeah, I can make the album quality.
Steve's here.
Yeah, Steve's here.
Steve and Rufio.
All the Steves are here.
All the Steves are here.
It's this house full of Steves. But yeah, like, it's been a growing phase, just maturing as a person, one, but two, kind of having to take that mature step in my artistry too, and, like, in my business. Like, yes, you know, content, but at the same time, like, if I really want to be an incredible musician, and this is what I want to do forever, you have to reinvent yourself all the time. You have to sit here and challenge it. You can't just regurgitate music and put it out. Like, there was so much catching up that I had to do musically. Like, I got started in music when I was fucking 20, almost 22. Like, most people if they love music, they're making it when they're 12.
Right.
Or they're 15 or whatever.
Right.
I was fucking playing
Did you ever play any instruments?
No.
Did you like poetry?
No. I remember being like 15 and like writing some raps in my like notebook.
Yeah.
But never.
So it was there though.
There was something there.
Yeah, there's something there.
But I just was never able to even think about it
because it was always baseball.
I was just a student athlete.
And dude, that's okay. This is real. Because so I got a therapist in New York. Mm-hmm. Needed that. Only saw him for a couple of weeks because then I freaked out at the end. Only a few visits. Mm-hmm. But one of the visits, like one of the points was like realizing like my creative side always took a step back. A back seat. Like I wanted to like I was the kid, the awkward tall kid, but creative and funny and goofy and shit. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to be in the choir and do the theater and stuff like that, but that wasn't cool to the homies.
Right.
So I was worried about it. Now this was in the 90s.
Right.
Now everyone was as accepting to free spirits and that kind of stuff and creative kind of dudes like that. So the creativity took a back seat and like masculinity and football and took over. And it wasn't until like I was talking to my therapist that I was like, shit, like it, even though it wasn't really a backseat, it was more shotgun, but I wasn't listening. Maybe I thought I wasn't listening to the person in shotgun, but I think that my creative side, and I want to say that my creative side, like I want to do acting, I want to be funny. That's why we met because I was like, who the fuck is that tall, funny like guy at the end of the dinner table, and we started vibing, that kind of thing. Like people said, your personality is the best part. Like I always thought football was my best part of it, about me, and that's identity. But it wasn't until recently, and I was like, shit, that maybe my creative side, the acting, the funny, the TV,
it's creating.
Maybe it's creative. Maybe that's been in the driver's seat the whole time. But I just thought football was. So I think that's why now I want to pursue that realm, and I had to figure that out.
It's a bigger notion. There is like understanding that things might feel like they're hitting rock bottom, and they might feel like, oh wow, it's going in the opposite direction of what I wanted or what I was supposed to be.
That hurts.
Yeah,
that's supposed to, that past kind of notion of yourself.
And this grand plan that everyone has for themselves. And it's like, I think what I'm trying to relay to people and like kind of tell myself, like most of this stuff I'm tweeting is
positive self-talk.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
better at that too.
It's more so
you're good at it.
Thank you.
I know those tweets is from right here.
Yeah. And it's crazy when you write them, I don't even think about it. I'm never even on my Twitter. Like I've grown out of the social media.
I want to grow out of that.
It's a little.
It's funny you say that because I want to grow out of it, yet I really want to take a picture after this. Fuck me up, right? Like,
it's very, very necessary.
But at the same time, it's like that shouldn't be the case.
It's very necessary for being in entertainment, and especially doing what I'm doing. Like, I'm not even on the radio. I'm not on record. Like doing the independent route.
Wait,
like
you're not?
No. Never on the radio, bro. Like I've never been on. I mean, there was one song called Closer that we worked to radio independently. We did it with this company 300, which is like a smaller record label.
I just don't listen to radio, but I guess that.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, you know what? Oh, because I hear your shit at clubs.
Yeah, I mean a little bit, but really,
I've been hearing it in New York more.
Yeah,
the word's spreading.
It's growing, but it's
right. Wow. But yeah. That's not necessary anymore, is it?
I mean, it can't. If you're on pop radio. It could be really big
because like that spreads your.
It's just there's so many people across the world, like across the country, listening to pop radio. Like those are kind of your middle America people that aren't necessarily like passionately looking on Spotify for new music, but they're just like every day in the car. But like, I think pop radio is still incredibly impactful,
and that's only from people who have albums and record deals.
Yeah,
huh?
You don't get on. You don't get on the radio without a record deal, and then now Spotify like playlists and shit. You really don't either. Like Spotify playlist is the new radio.
Huh.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
What does radio do? It curates. Radio used to give you all the best music right now, all the best new music, even break new artists.
Unless
back
you
then.
were a now 7 kind of person.
Yeah.
Those albums were lit.
We were just talking about Nows.
Yeah, those were so dope.
Those were bangers. Those were bangers.
Those were the
Are they still
bangers.
making them?
I think so. I randomly saw a commercial a few days ago.
I love that.
I think it's like Now 73.
I love that. Yeah, I was a Now guy for a little bit.
That was dope.
I was a Now guy.
But yeah, that's what we need. We crave that. What are the best ones? Give it to us.
Right. So I still think the now Spotify playlist is that for the new generation. Like they're curating all the best new shit. There's so much music being dropped.
Yeah.
So getting on those platforms,
By the
getting
way,
on those.
Honolulu's dope.
Thank you,
I haven't
bro.
told you yet.
Thank you.
They're so dope.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, my whole family's listening to it. They were in Hawaii last week. They're listening to it all week.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. I get so many Snapchats now from like everything when people are in Honolulu.
Yeah.
You know, it became that little theme song over there.
Ah, ding.
But
Kilmer, was that your idea?
nah, it actually wasn't. It was just I wrote a lot of those lyrics.
Because y'all went there.
Yeah, no, it was,
You
it
had
was
that
just
trip
real.
there. I saw some social media pics
Mm-hmm.
from that trip, and then the song came out a few months after.
We were going bonkers out there. We made tons of, like a lot of the songs that you see up on the board that I'm making the album. I made a lot of that shit in Hawaii. Just caught a wave out there. But what the fuck was I saying?
Shit, sorry, that was my fault.
No. My point was
At least the rapper.
it wore off.
I love it. Thank God.
Yeah. Told you, man. People come over and smoke the rapper and then just the whole day changes.
Yeah.
Their plan. That's what I was talking about. Urging
I'm
people
moving too much. Sorry. Urging people
to have a plan. To have a plan is good, and having a plan for yourself and what you want. But you know, kind of hinging off what you were saying, feeling like maybe your artistic side, you know, took a back seat when it really was supposed to be in the front this whole time. And I feel like, you know, obviously I can relate to that. I'm more passionate about music than I was about baseball, you know, or more passionate about what I'm doing now
than you ever were.
And I would have never guessed that in a million years. So that's my biggest message to kids. Like, that's my biggest message to anyone listening, is that you have to understand that, like, all these redirections, you get, you know, kicked down to the ground. You have to pick up and go the opposite way of what you thought your plan was. If you're able to accept in the moment that I believe this is going to bring me where I'm supposed to be, like, every single thing, every single day, every moment, I feel is like it's a necessary step. And if you're able to, like, keep a clear head and understand that you might have to take 5 steps back to take 10 steps forward, you know, like, you might have to take the long way. Like, you think you're going the wrong way, but you realize, you know, where you were trying to go was all, you know, this is actually the way you had to go. And my biggest thing is for people to understand that strangulating yourself and making sure that you're fitting the mold of what this plan that you had.
What you're supposed to be.
It's evolving.
It's what you said you were supposed to
exactly.
be. Yeah.
It's a never-ending evolution of what you can, who you are, and what you can be.
But that is also a very hard lesson to learn. And if you learn it early, kudos, you got to do it. That's great.
Extremely hard.
That's why we're doing this kind of stuff. We're talking about it because we've endured.
I find myself writing that message so many times to kids, like, you know, try to buy into the fact that this is something you needed at this time. Something's gonna happen in this time when you're so down or whatever. Like you were talking about it, like you go through these phases of depression or sadness or unhappiness or unfulfilled. But
a void
who's to say what's gonna come from that? This time where you're down, like, you might, as a person, come to a realization, and then your whole perspective can change, and it could take you to an avenue that, you know, like me, I feel like I'm now doing what I'm supposed to be doing, but when the injury happened, I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do next? Yeah. You know, and really, like, I think that happens to so many people, and the negativity of the situation, like I was talking about earlier, bogs you down in the present so much that it doesn't allow you to get to that final end goal. Like, if you're able to open up yourself to just, like, taking the punches and rolling with the punches and understanding that something's going to come from it, something necessary. This was necessary for whatever reason, the bigger plan, you know, I think that's that's probably my number one tidbit for kids who are figuring it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have to figure it out.
Gaining that perspective. It's just experience. Like, is it experience? All experience is just a heaping full of failures.
Right.
And you have to go through that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really easy to forget it. But I mean, shit. I mean, I need it too. And I mean, I love Will Smith. Love him. I listen to some random these motivational speeches, Gary V. I mean, I listen to it all. I need that. I need to hear it because I need to know that, like, okay, I failed this morning by not waking up in time, but I can just get over it. Just like the small things like that.
Right.
And if you correlate that to bigger things, like, okay, I failed football. Yeah. I mean, I had to realize that football wasn't a failure, but in my mind it will be, but that's okay. Because I was always struggling. Like, why does everyone think me playing the NFL was so dope? Like, I didn't play 10 years like I said I was going to.
Right.
I only played 3.
Right.
Like, why did everyone think that's a failure? But even though they don't, like fans don't think, they don't think it's a failure, or people don't think it's a failure, it's okay for me to, but also more so, I know it's dope, but also still reach and overcome it. And like, it's okay to have that failure. And dude, speaking of that, I've noticed that people don't want you to strike the lotto twice. Yeah. Dude, like, they don't want you to play college baseball and be a dope fucking rapper. Yeah. They don't want you, people doesn't, if you've succeeded already, they don't want you to do another one. I think I've been reading like so much. I've been in a big phase of like just reading stuff that opens up my perspective. Like the 7 laws of spiritual success, like my fans, I'm always like, you know, kind of, I'll post a picture just for certain, they're like, what book is that? You know, and I never would have thought I would be a guy that would like to read that, like, especially in a phase where everything's going well. Yeah. You know, but I found myself kind of like feeling like I needed to keep evolving my perspective. Like when I was sitting here saying I felt I was disappointed in myself that I didn't feel completely fulfilled. I'm sitting in this house in LA doing all these things I would have never thought I was doing, you know. So I found myself gravitating towards these books, and they're not like self-help books. Like, no, they're not. I know, but I'm saying they're like I tried those and they don't work. Like, what kind of books are they? I want you to read it. I was gonna say it off camera. You should read. I'll fucking give it to you. I'll take it. There's it's the 7 spiritual laws of success, and it's just there's things. What you said had sparked it. You know, talking about other people, and honestly, if you can take a step back and not take things personally like humans do. Every human just ego. You know, you take everything personally. Like, oh, this person's a hater, hating on me. You just. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff in that book that like helped me kind of understand or look at people with a softer element. Like it's not me against the hater or me against so-and-so behind his computer who's talking shit. It's more so like those people are sad with themselves. You know what I mean? Anyone happy, anyone successful is not worried about what the next man's doing, number one. And number two, they're definitely not telling that person like, yo, you suck. Like, no successful person or happy person is doing that. So if you kind of realize like it's not really necessarily about me, you know, dealing with someone who's hate, you know, throwing hate at you or shade at you, even if you're not a celebrity or anything and you're just in your personal life, you feel like everyone feels like they have haters or people that don't jive with them, or trying to understand like people and humans more. Everyone has their own shit, man. Yeah, everyone's going. That's that new perspective. Everyone's going through. Right. And that was something I needed to learn too, because being an athlete, you're super selfish. Yeah, so selfish. So selfish. Right. And I thought I legit thought no one in the world can possibly feel as bad as I am right now. Yep. Now that my football career is over. Like what? Like, so selfish. Yeah. Right. But knowing that other people endure, and there's worse shit in the world to endure, it really does. You have to learn. But you have to also go through it to really gain that perspective. Really. But knowing it and reading about it and like actually connecting with that's huge, because knowing that someone that's probably spewing some shit with their Twitter fingers is probably going through a lot worse shit. Yeah. And it's a real thing. Like, I remember being like, I would read some shit online. This was, you know, I would say I kind of crossed this bridge like a few years ago, but getting bothered by like complete strangers' opinions on things that, you know, like
and I'd find myself being like, it would take me out of my mood and like affect my day.
I remember one, it affected me too. I was mad for you because I was like, that review is shit. You're stupid too. I was mad for you. I think I remember it.
Yeah.
It was, you did it a couple times, but there was one of them I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Right.
I remember it, but
Right.
you don't do that anymore.
Yeah, no, it was more so like, that's kind of what I was saying. I found myself like feeling like I wanted to correct these things because it really is ego based, you know, like.
But you can't change everyone's mind. There's some people that's just not gonna.
But you have to be exactly.
Yeah,
like,
and that's okay.
And that's all okay. But
small percentage.
Very small
Very.
percentage.
Minority.
But yeah, like just kind of with people especially, I feel like that's why I'm so eager to get back on the road. I feel like I'm a new person in the sense of just I'm subconsciously trying to get out of the bubble of like the mic world of like, oh my God, this is so important. This song, I gotta get this song out because what, you know what I mean? Like all these things that stress me. I'm consciously, it's tough.
It is tough.
But I'm consciously trying to get out of my own way and take a step out of it and be like, look how blessed you are. One, two, you know, these problems that you have. If you're really buying into what you're preaching, you understand that all these problems, all these feelings you feel like you have, they're all essential in your growth, in your life. You need them, you know. So most of the shit I'm saying, most of the shit I tweet, most of the things that I'm trying, it's really like information I'm trying to sell to myself as well. You know, like I'm buying into it, and when I tweet it, it's because I feel like
it actually adds an extra element.
I'm putting it more in the universe
exactly.
too. Like
there's one thing saying it, but you can say it and tweet it, and say it and tweet it and write it,
right?
And type it and text it.
More and more of it is
more of it's good.
Yeah,
in the universe. Oh my God, I'm so big on that shit now.
Me too.
I don't know why. I never thought I'd be one of those. Maybe it's because I live in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
but
got
I'm
a
all
little
about
hipster
it.
in you.
Yeah, maybe it might also be the weed, but I mean, it's dude, that's real.
Yeah.
And because you know what, you think about it, it's like, yeah, I told myself I would look at myself in the mirror and be like, you're gonna fucking catch that shit. I would practice fucking touchdowns in my head and visualizing it.
Yeah.
And I would write like how many touchdowns I was gonna get that year. I would put it out there. I would write it down. I'd think about it a lot. But I haven't really realized that I need to do that again now. So only recently I'm like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make a big change. I'm gonna go to this creative route. But you forget that that's what creates what got you to where you were. And you're still doing that, but you're adding extra elements. That's only going to elevate even further.
Right.
I mean,
I couldn't relate more to it. It's exactly, and like when you talk about,
it's good practice. It's really good practice.
When you talk about like now, bro, I'm doing things like I'll wake up and try to write. Like I have a notepad and I'll just write things that I'm thankful for. Like I'll try to just, and it might just be two things or whatever. Just like the most basic things, like I'm thankful I woke up today and it's sunny out or whatever.
I gotta start doing that more.
Yeah, and it's kind of a vibe. Like
it's real, man.
I saw it in that book, and I like really love this author, Deepak Chopra. He's like a legend. But yeah, it's wild to find myself doing these things that I would never thought I would do. You know, but I feel the benefits of it.
So you feel it? It's funny you say that because now I'm recently understanding that it's just really kind of a simple formula.
It is.
If you do something, and maybe if you're unsure of it, but just you think to yourself, if I do this, will it make me feel better after? Will I be better after? Or will it make me worse after? Or the same?
Right.
And usually with those good things like writing down what's going on, being thankful, or I mean, shit, for me, just last week, my lady couldn't go to church with me. I'm trying to do that again because it made me feel better. And I was like, shit, she's not going to go. She's working. What am I going to do? Fuck. 9 a.m. goes by, 10:30 goes by, whatever. I'm like, fuck. And this is a dope church. They sing. It's awesome. It's great. I'm like, I don't go by myself. It's weird. I'm like, shit, man, Joe, well, listen, think to yourself, you feel better after. Because I was already having a weird morning.
Yeah.
I forgot to write things I was thankful for because I usually practice that too. I just write like two or three things down. Like sky's blue. I get to talk to my grandparents; they're still alive, and I get to eat.
Yeah,
there's simple things like that.
All right.
I forgot that day, but I wanted to go to church, and I didn't want to go by myself. But I was like, "Is it gonna make me feel better after?" I'm gonna do it. I mean, is and then also that it's also my thing for like the simple thing, like if I should not do something good for myself, I'm like, is this gonna make me feel better?
Right.
Simple question.
Right.
It's not. I'm not gonna do it.
Right. I mean, I think as you go embark on this next thing, I mean, me and Marcus had a whole talk about finding the things that make you comfortable, finding the things that work for you, and making them a daily habit, so that you're setting yourself up, you know, even if nothing necessarily is happening that day, you're just setting yourself up for the right mind frame, for things to happen, for the right things to happen, to feel the right things, you know. And Marcus talked about it helping him a lot with his approach to the game, because it's a tough game. Like, you pitch and you have 6 days before your next one, or 5 days before your next outing, and if you pitch like shit, you find yourself finding in these fogs.
Yeah, that's not given enough credit. Like, that's one really important part of baseball I've noticed, is that, like, even though some might say, like, oh, they get so much rest. I'm like, yo, no, you know what sports are? Sports are repetition. And granted, they could keep pitching, but like only playing so many games, it's like it's a dope job and they get paid millions of dollars, but it's also fucks with your mental. And if you don't really stay to it, that's why now you're seeing more actual athletes in baseball, like actual athletes,
right.
like freaking guys that can do backflips and shit, like that could like hang with a football player, like freaking Mike Stanton. Dude, oh my God, I played against him in high school, bro. He's football? From the Valley, yeah, football. He could have played professional football.
It's a big boy.
100%. He's bigger than me. Oh my God, now, fuck. He was my size now. Like, you know, I'm lean now. Tall. I'm still a little taller than him, but he's my size now and like sculpted now. When he was a senior in high school.
So he's always been like.
He's always been like that. Always been a freak. So there's no. By the way, he's never gonna get. He's gonna get tested for the rest of his life. He can get tested till he's dead. He'll never fail. Dude's just that Greek god naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a freak. Guy's a beast. I know.
But like repetition. So like pitching. That's huge.
Yeah.
God, that's not enough talk about like how those guys like don't get enough. So that's huge. So keeping a schedule is huge.
You're right. So finding things every day. Finding things every day that just sets you up for the right shit. Set you up. That's kind of the vibe I've been on.
I was with my grandfather today. We went to the casino at 6 a.m. in the morning.
Respect it.
But I lost. He won. That was good for him. But he always used to tell me, like, write stuff down and cross it out. It's a little successful little thing, like just a to-do list. I always thought it was stupid, but I tried it out recently. It helps. So, like, throughout your day, I mean, accomplishing something. I mean, I don't do it as much, but like just accomplishing something as small as like making your bed. I mean, like, it makes you feel better after.
It's real shit though.
Yeah, just those small little wins. And also another little tidbit that I've like learned, like actually carried out through my life. My uncle Christian played 13 years in the league, won 2 Super Bowls. Really helpful coming up with him. And now it's crazy because now it's flipped the script. Now his kid, who's like my little nephew, helping him go play football. Nevertheless, he was always telling me stack. I was like, oh, because I was undrafted. Like, what do I do, yo? Like, help me out. Like, what are the pointers? He's like, first of all, just stack plays. Like, just stack small wins. Stack good plays together. And then so you get like what, one good catch. We'll get another one. Right. Do the right thing. Do it again. Do the right thing again. Right. You know. Oh, you had a good series. Well, have another good series. Oh, you had a good practice. Let's have 3 practices. Good practice. Let's have a good week. Oh, okay. You made the team. Okay. Let's have a good game. That kind of thing. Like that's kind of shit. Like you stack small wins. Step. Yeah, and then it gets bigger. But if you take away those small things, right? I mean, shit. I'm talking a big game, but that was one of the things that resonated that I didn't know that actually meant for football. It meant for outside of life too.
After football.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So trying to do that too.
So as the next thing happens, I guess we should kind of wrap this up. Like we talked about it off camera a bit, and you mentioned it a bit, but you know, you've gone through your low, you've gone through your, I mean, obviously you're still battling and you're still on the path to figuring out what you want. I feel like most people in the world are in that phase, whether it feels like when it's happening to you, it's like, this is the worst. But I really feel like at every phase of life for everybody, there's these peaks and these valleys. what's next? What's next for you? We talked about it a bit, and you referenced it a bit, but
it's funny because I haven't I thought I knew what to do. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but I still have to try things and still kind of figure it out. I just told my agent yesterday that I wanted to not necessarily focus on the broadcasting, the hosting, but more so fucking acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and entertainment, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like being the center of attention, so why not do that? But
Yeah.
more so, it's not a need to be famous. It's more so has no allure to me at all. I mean, I loved fans and all that kind of stuff, and I love getting likes.
Right.
But I realized that I watch films and TV. I always have, and I'm the dude that cries in the movie theater, and I'm the guy that's like, oh, did you see what he did? Right there. I'm dissecting and shit. Never went to film school. I took 1 or 2 theater classes. One theater class at UCLA, I fucking fell in love with it.
Right.
But I was going to the NFL.
Right.
And I think I wanna invoke emotion. I love making the homies laugh. I love. I did a 100-person. You saw it. Group fitness class.
I saw that
on top of a William Vale hotel in Brooklyn, overlooking the city. It was dope. But I did that because not because I love fitness, and not because I want to get your abs right, and I want to inspire you. Yeah, sure, but I want to entertain.
Right.
After the thing, because my girlfriend did it with me, we did a little duet thing. She said we were getting compliments after, and they're like, "Yo, she brought the abs, but I was laughing so much that I worked more of them." I was like, "Yeah, that's what I was here for. I was here for the entertainment value."
Yeah.
So that's what I want. I want that. I love that feeling of making someone laugh or cry and connecting, dude. I'm so big on connections now, and I always have been. I like making friends with the fucking McDonald's drive-thru person. Right. That's my thing. Waiters is my thing. You've seen it in person. That's my thing. I love that shit. Yeah. And more recently, I just I love doing this podcast because I love knowing what people have gone through and what they've endured. Because I was an only child, dude. I love people's stories. I was raised by a village, so I love connecting with people, and I want to do that more. So if I can do that, and I think acting's the way to go. And I'm saying this out loud for the fucking first time, and it's weird. And
I love it. I love it. I love it.
So I'm gonna just fucking go for it.
I read Steve Harvey's book. We'll finish it on this notion, but it's called Jump. And the idea of you're going to get to so many crossroads and so many edges, and you feel like you're at the end and you're not sure what's on the other side. You just have to jump. You know what I mean? If you want to get to a different place, if you're unhappy, you have to find, it feels like as you say that,
don't dip your toe in the fucking water.
You believe it. You believe it, though. Yeah. You believe that you're meant to, you love comedy, you love making people laugh, and now you're at this point in your life where it's just time to jump.
Yeah.
Are you going to jump? And that's
Steve, I think I'm going to jump.
Yeah. And
that's huge.
And I didn't even think about it, subconscious. I jumped at the music thing. I just fucking jumped. I had no idea what I was doing. I wasn't.
You actually jumped. Yeah, it took me a slow start.
I don't know why.
Slow running start.
It wasn't.
That's huge. You did jump.
It wasn't like I thought about any of this. I just did. I just did, and I had this feeling and intuition. And all those things that are real. I believe in all that shit too. So
you probably just don't like idle time either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just went right into it. But I just connected with the notion of jumping. You just have there's a undertone of the uncertainty. You have to dive into the uncertainty to find the next magical thing, to find your real. Those are always the most rewarding things, the things that you didn't know were coming. The surprises. It's okay, I'm just going to jump in, and then something's going to happen. And you have to be able to recognize when your life is feeling like, if life is feeling like there's something missing, or there's always, I think that's the biggest thing, is people don't understand. There's always a chance for change. You just have to be able to actually be okay with it.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to change. It
took me a long time.
We know it more than anything.
Yeah. It is hard to change, but embracing it is that's why we're doing the stuff like this and talking about it.
Yeah.
And people need to hear this shit.
I love it. I love your thing. I'll be on yours for sure.
For
but
sure.
The figure it out idea is that's what we're doing. Yeah. I mean, I think You know,
It's the same. We're just basically doing the same thing. It's just different titles.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like it's just talking to cool people, see how the fuck they got to where they are.
Exactly.
And what they've gone through to get there, and how they've had to switch it up or flip the script.
So it looks like you might be a neighbor soon, or what? You gonna move out this way? Maybe.
I mean, it's calling my name, man. I have to listen to it. We'll see.
Gotta listen.
Listen to it. And it's so nice out here.
It is.
It's hot today, though. Hot as balls today.
It's a little heat wave we got going on.
A little bit.
I haven't really been going out outside.
Stir crazy.
I've been in here. But I appreciate you coming on. And obviously, this guy's been a friend. When did we meet? It was about a few years ago.
4 years ago?
Maybe 3 years ago?
3 years ago?
Through some mutual friends, but obviously through our stories and like-mindedness. I feel like, you know, there's no rhyme or reason to who's my guest. It's really just like he was in town, he comes through, and these are the types of candid conversations I want to have. So I appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Cheers. Figure it out.
You ready?
You ready?